Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Around the Creek podcast. We do not have Elijah again for today's episode, but I am Owen.
And I'm Aiden.
Yep, that feels weird to do without
Feels
Elijah.
weird, but yeah. So Elijah's sick, so he's not going to be here for this one. Unfortunately, he's not going to be here for this one, because we're talking about the episode Onesies.
Wow, what an episode.
Wow, what an episode.
Yeah, this is the
boy.
second episode Bluey I ever watched. I mentioned that a couple of times on the podcast, but this is the second episode of Bluey I ever watched right after Ragdoll. So quite the difference. You know, quite like a big spike in the
It's a lot deeper.
chain. Yeah, it's like so deep. Like I still can't believe they did this, and I'm so happy they did.
This is an episode that like you can understand from a surface level. Like unlike Flat Pack and Sleepy Time, like those all have deeper meanings, but this you can understand like everything there is on the surface level for this episode. Well, for the most part. There's no symbolism, but you can see like tiny little things. And I think for this episode, I don't think I want to just go through the script and, recap the episode, because there's a lot to go here, a lot to discuss, especially the kind of small details that is hinted out throughout the entire episode, which I'm sure you're aware of. Owen?
Yeah. I have quite a few notes for this one. Not too many as like Turtle Boy, but something I wanted to mention is that today, my friend invited one of her friends over. Not my friend. My mom invited one of her friends over who had 2 kids, and on purpose, because they were like 5 years old or something, I was like, oh, maybe they like Bluey. So I have a Bluey desktop background, so I just minimized all my tabs just in case to see if they would notice it. And the mom immediately was like, "Is that the house from Bluey?" And then I was like, "Well, now we have something to talk about." And
we have the
they're
same background
really
too.
Yeah. They're really into the show, and we watched a few episodes with the kids. That was super interesting because it was so interesting to see. They've never seen this episode. This is the first time they saw Onesies. They haven't seen any of the new ones. So I played it, and because I was taking notes on it before this episode. But it was so interesting to see what the 5-year-olds think of it. Like, I knew they wouldn't get the deeper meanings behind it, but just seeing it in person is so cool. Like, they were laughing at parts where I wouldn't laugh, but they thought it was a really funny episode, and it's a pretty funny episode.
There's some
but
funny
it's not
bits, like Bandit. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, Bandit's great.
Getting mauled by little dingus. Yeah.
But it was just, and something I realized while I was watching, I was like, holy crap, these kids are growing up with this show.
That's true.
That's so crazy to think. And they're so lucky. My God.
Yeah, like, part of me, okay, this is something I was thinking about just randomly, but part of me is, I guess, sad that I didn't grow up with the show, but part of me is glad that I'm watching it for the first time as a teenager, nearly an adult.
Yeah, me too.
That can fully understand all these episodes, because like these 5-year-olds aren't going to understand Flat Pack or Sleepy Time, or they're probably not going to understand all of what Onesies has to offer. Like, they're not going to really understand like infertility and like family fights and stuff like that. At least most of them won't understand it around that age. Yeah.
They thought it was just a funny episode, and I wasn't here crying. But then we played Rug Island, and they just didn't get the episode at all.
Exactly.
Like, they were like, why is he so happy about leaves at the end? And I was just saying, you'll know when you're older.
You'll figure out when you're older, yeah.
By the way, they said they'll listen to the podcast. So,
oh, that's great.
Hi. I don't remember your names. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names. But
Imagine.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Hi. Thanks for listening to the podcast.
Yes. Hello. This is Aiden. We usually have Elijah. but he's sick.
He's in some other episodes. You should listen to him. He's a nice guy.
He's in the best episodes. He's in the
Mm-hmm.
best of episodes.
He makes the
Anyway,
episodes the best.
yes, he does. Let's talk about the episode, shall we?
Yes, we should. So, oh, you go ahead.
Yeah, it's all right. So this episode starts with a new character, Brandy, which we've only seen in the background on picture frames at the beginning of season 3, which is a lot of debate and theories behind that. But the only reason why we see Brandy here is thanks to Bluey's big play. I'm not sure if you know this, but I never saw the play. If it comes to Canada, I'm going to it immediately. Doesn't matter the cost. I'm watching it. Near the end, they have a phone call with Brandy, I'm pretty sure, and they try and like the whole time, I'm pretty sure the whole story is about trying to reconcile with Brandy. Reconcile, yeah.
Yeah.
Reconcile with Brandy, and they managed to do it at the end of the play, and then it ends. And then this episode came out like a couple weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not completely sure about that. But
I'm not completely sure about that either, but I do know like there's a connection between Bluey's big play. I don't know if I don't know if the entire plot point was trying to reconcile with Brandy, or
I think most of it was just
part of it.
I think most of it was just kid stuff.
Mm-hmm. But that was a part of it. There was a little bit of it, I'm guessing,
Yeah. I know it was some part.
Mm-hmm.
So Brandy comes up to the door. She seems very like distressed and anxious.
You can see a look on her face, like she's not prepared for what she's going to see.
No.
Like she hasn't seen them in 4 years. I don't think she's even seen Bingo since Bingo was like super young. And then
like how old is Bingo?
Bingo is, I guess at the time of the episode, she's 5.
Here?
Since it's after Past the Parcel. So she'd be 5, I think, at this point.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Past
wow,
the Parcel,
true.
we see her have her 5th birthday.
Okay. So 4 years ago, she must have just been 1.
She was like a baby, yeah.
And Blue is probably like 3.
Yeah, about 3-ish. Mm-hmm.
I don't like math, so. But yeah, Brandy doesn't look very happy, and then we cut to Bluey, Bingo, and Chili dancing along, saying like, "This is a dance we made for our mom on, I think it was Mother's Day."
Ooh, yeah.
And we made it up and stuff. Like, so many people forget this part, and I completely forgot this part until I rewatched the episode today.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, so one thing I'm going to talk about this later, but the soundtrack is so underrated. The music in this episode is the most underrated, I'd have to say, because this has got to be top 5, maybe even top 3 for me. It's genuinely it's, I don't know, it just puts a smile on my face.
That's fair. Genuinely. It is a very happy tone, but also not a happy tone.
This episode is just such a masterpiece, like genuinely.
It is pretty good. So after this, Brandy comes to the door, and I love this part because the girls, they've never really seen Brandy. You know how when they see Uncle Rad or Aunt Trixie, and they're like, "Wow, it's you! Woohoo!" And then they see Brandy, and they're like, "Hi," and then you see them like kind of shy away because that's a reasonable response. Also,
it's the subtle things. Subtle things.
That's a thing that I noticed about the kids that came over today. When they first saw me, and I know this is a thing that just all kids do, they were like kind of shy. It's like, "Oh, I'm a big teenager. I'm all scary." But I thought that was just an interesting thing to notice because I forgot about that, but I used to do that too. It's nice. So then we have some just Chili and Brandy hugging, and something that no one mentions, and I wish they did because it's a really fun detail, is they're both wagging their tails, and as they're wagging their tails, they're wagging it in the girls' faces. So they're kind of just giggling and stuff. Like, no one mentions, there's so many parts in this. Everyone mentions that scene, which we're going to get to. But like, there's many other scenes in this episode which are worthy of talking about.
This episode is heavy on the details. Like as I was saying before, like all these little. I think Bluey artists and animators have always been good at having these details in and
Mm-hmm.
putting them in a way that it feels so fluid, like as if you're watching it like acted out perfectly, scene by scene,
I
with
know.
real emotion. Um, it's just perfect. Like the tail wags, just you can tell that they're a little bit happy, and then
That's
like the
that's
look on
like.
Randy's face when she walks up to the door. Like
Mm-hmm.
these are subtle things that you don't notice on your first watch because it's not really pointed out.
You're not looking for it. You're just wanting to
Yeah,
pay attention to the story.
especially if you don't know the
But
premise of onesies. Like
mhm,
you're not gonna notice that. But then once you watch it again and again and again, you notice these little details, and they all make sense.
I know.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say this now. The tail wagging in Bluey is one of my favorite things about the whole show. I'm not
Oh
joking.
yeah, it's adorable.
It's
I love it.
so
People need to talk
good.
about it more. Oh, it's so cute.
And it's like just subtly sometimes and
And Duck Cake, it
like
was used really well.
oh, I love Duck Cake.
So many other
Duck Cake
episodes.
is like such a good episode. Oh my
Duck
god.
Cake was one of the episodes. I wouldn't say it was. It might have been
One
the
of the
episode.
episode.
It,
One
it
of
was
the
one of the
episodes.
episodes. It might have been the episode that got me into Bluey and like me realized, oh my goodness, this is actually a great show. And that's another topic for another time. I'm sure we'll get to Duck
Yes,
Cake,
because we're talking
but I
about
will I will
another.
say briefly that Bandit being vulnerable came out of nowhere for
Oh
me.
my
I was
god.
like, oh wow, I did not see this coming. Like I knew
No
Bluey
one did.
I know like Bluey had some deep episodes, but I didn't know what to expect because I'm watching Bluey with my little sisters. I don't know much about it. So yeah, that episode just hit.
Do you think you watch Bluey more than your little sisters now?
Oh, absolutely. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. They watch Peppa Pig, which is also a good show. But this is a Bluey
Oh.
podcast, not a Peppa Pig
Oh
podcast. They're watching
no.
again. Peppa Pig's good. Peppa Pig's good.
Is it?
It is. It's funny.
Well,
It's funny.
okay.
It's funny.
Just a small rant until we get back to the
The episode? Go ahead.
just a small side note. The top rated episode of Peppa Pig on IMDb has 7.8 stars, which is not bad. That's pretty good for your top episode. But the lowest ranked episode of Bluey has 7.8 stars. So, sorry if I say Peppa Pig is not a good show, even though I've never watched it, but from this alone, I don't think it's that good of a show.
Okay, so Peppa Pig is funny. Like it's enjoyable, but it's enjoyable when you're older as well. Like watch it, I can watch it and it's actually kind of funny because it has some funny bits in it and like I can chuckle a little bit. It's not deep. The art style is not as impressive and not as detailed as Bluey, but it's not miserable to watch.
How
That's all
did
I'm
we get
saying.
on a How did we get on a tangent on one of the best episodes in Bluey history? And how did we
I
get
don't
off
know.
topic?
That's
How?
that's just what
Okay,
happens. That's just what
it
happens.
really does. So, Brandy has some gifts for the girls. They have
Hmm.
some ones. She has some onesies. I I don't know if this is like. I mean, onesies are great. I own several pairs, but it's like this is okay. Never mind. Never mind. That's later. That's later. That's later. So, they put them on. It doesn't fit. Bluey wants the cheetah one, but it's way too small, and that part's quite funny as well.
Hmm.
And Chili kind of mentions the
The
fact that
way
it's like,
the way Bluey like waddles out,
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's so tight.
And then Bingo follows after, drooping
Yeah, like all the
along.
all the limbs are just like kind of like dragging
Hmm.
on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah. And Bluey's upset that the onesie doesn't fit her. It's like, oh, can you make it fit? Sorry, kid. If it doesn't fit, it's not meant to be. And we will hear that in a much better sense later. But I like some of the best episodes. They mention the main like word, I guess, at the very beginning, and then they come back to it
Like a phrase,
later.
yeah.
Yeah. Like with Turtle Boy. Uh, not the done thing, or the wagon ride, gotta be done. It's gotta be done. They say that at the very end. And it's very cute. But yeah, this is just another example of a good one. So they're like, "We'll just swap them," and they do. But then we learn that Bingo has this weird like trait where she becomes one with the onesie, as Chili says.
Yeah, like a cheetah.
This is okay. I know it's a kid. I know it's a kid's show. But I didn't like this part. I didn't like this part. It was too kid showy for me.
But I feel like Bingo would do this.
Bingo. No, she would. She would.
It's not out of character.
I'm fine with it existing, but I just didn't like it. I think this is just a personal preference. I don't think of the company any less. It's just this part in particular. It's like,
but the onesie analogy is really important for the whole episode. Like genuinely,
it really is.
It is important. So this is why they made it onesies. There's a reason for all this.
Is there?
Yeah. The entire analogy, yeah. The entire analogy for the onesies.
What is the analogy for the onesies? Why do they have onesies?
Well, I mean, Chili explains it herself. It just like Bluey wanted the
onesie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that could be with anything, really. It didn't have to be onesies. I thought you meant like the onesies are like they embody the meaning, the main message behind this. No, okay. And then we get the first and probably only title screen narrated by Brandy, which is nice. I like it when other characters do the title narration. Because I love you, Bluey, but give some other people a chance.
Yeah, he's always the one that points out whenever someone else does the title screen. Yeah.
I love that. I can't believe neither Mackenzie or Rusty has done one.
Rusty hasn't done one?
Cricket was done by Bluey. Why?
Interesting.
I think she says maybe 20 words in that entire episode. Anyway, this is why we need Elijah.
Yeah, Elijah's the guy that reins in. He's like the director.
He literally is.
But we'll just roll with it because
I guess so.
We're going off some good points here.
Then they run away from Bingo because she's a cheetah, and there's some great facial expressions.
Yeah,
it's like
I can think of one screenshot. Like it's just photographed on memory.
It's so good. I should post that screenshot when I post this episode on Instagram.
You should, yes.
That would be funny.
I have an idea for that.
Yeah.
You have like that, and then like the episode title on the door, or the episode screenshot on the door. We'll work it out. Y'all will see it if you check the socials. We're doing that.
Do it on the Twitter.
So yeah, Bingo leaves Bandit.
Hold on, I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, she just jumped onto Bandit.
What about Bandit? Forget him, he's done.
Yeah, they're all just in the car. They lock themselves in the car, and Bandit, it's like a zombie movie. He's just getting mauled by Bingo.
This is actually a reference to a horror movie.
Oh,
not even joking. It's a very gruesome scene, which I unfortunately saw while I was in Tanzania on a public bus system, which for some reason had a TV. And they were playing this movie for who knows reasons. I was about 5, so I was pretty scarred from it. I still talk about it today, but it was funny seeing that here. Did you get her the onesies? I didn't know. So many good ones. And then they're like, well, we could live in the car. And then they're talking about the food in the car seat. And it's so subtle, which I love, but you can just barely see Bingo's little cheetah tail crawling into the back as she jump scares them. Ooh. And then they all run out. So then they go hide behind the shed, And Bluey asks Brandy, it's like, were there any cheetah onesies that fit my size? And Brandy didn't know because I don't think she took too much.
Didn't pay too much attention to it. Yeah.
Exactly. It's just a onesie. And then Bluey's ass is like, can you call him and ask? And like Chili's like, Bluey, because that's a bit ridiculous. And it was like, sorry, Bluey. The last time I saw you, zebras were your favorite animal. And they were, but now they're cheetahs. And then I think Chili's a bit, what's the word?
She's
She's
okay. So this thing I want to mention
persistent in this, like,
yeah, like you can tell like
a bit much.
they're
Like it's a
sisters. And she kind I feel there's like a little bit I wouldn't say resentment, but there's something like it's like it's been 4 years. Why'd you wait
it's like,
4
what
years
the
to come
heck?
back, you know?
What the heck?
Because she mentioned like at the start, like when they're at the doorway, like
yeah, but she was a lot more calm about
years.
that. But then she's like, 4 years.
Yeah, like the way she looked, like her eyes move. 4 years.
Also, can I just mention the fact how it's so convenient that she got a cheetah onesie and a zebra onesie? Like, how did she know that Bingo?
You're reading too deep into it.
Anyway,
it's just plot convenience. But
and this leads Brandy to be like, this is a bad idea. I gotta go. And before she leaves, like she is about to leave.
Bingo.
Yeah, jump by Bingo. It's like, go save yourself. So they run away to the bathroom. I don't know why I love this scene so much. It's just, it's so stupid. It's so dumb. No one else would mention it. But just the animation of them running into the bathroom and getting into the bathtub is so smooth. It's so good. I love it.
Did Chris Bennett animate this one? I think he might have.
I think he may have.
I think he did.
Well, I mean, like, animate. Obviously, he didn't do all of it.
No, but like he did part of the animation. I'm pretty sure. Let's see.
Yeah.
Looking on the wiki. Okay, maybe he didn't.
Well, I can pull up IMDb. Are we doing this?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Time skip now.
All right, so after some research, we found that he did not work on it. I thought maybe he did because he has worked on some like really good episodes. But
well, he worked on camping. Like
he did.
That's incredible.
He worked on some like genuinely just amazing episodes. So I thought maybe I saw it there, but I didn't.
So after they get in the bathtub scene, back to that. We get the line of the episode. It's like, Mom, why did Christy want to leave? Christy, why? That's just so wrong. Nothing. There's not a single.
There's not a Christy.
Anything. I don't know where that came from. Why did Brandy want to leave? Which is she sad? And why have we only seen her once in our lives? And like, I think this is like the first time Chili's ever taken like a deep breath before saying it, because she knows like this is a deep topic.
Oh yeah,
that is like gonna resonate forever. She's like, do you have it pulled up? Because it's so good. And
I don't have the exact line pull up, but I know it. I not word. I think word by word. Let's see. You know how you really wanted that cheetah onesie, but it doesn't fit you?
Yeah, more than anything. That's what Bluey says, I'm pretty sure.
He says, yeah, more than anything. Well, Brandy wants something, but she can't have it.
Yeah, I think it's like, maybe I know it better.
Maybe you do.
Why do I know things?
I don't know. You just remember
I'm pretty sure it's like, well, there's something Brandy wants more than anything in the world as well, but she can't have it. And while she's saying this, Brandy is playing with Bingo, getting eaten alive. And then we get probably one of the best shots in the whole definitely the best shot in the whole episode, where Brandy's playing with Bingo, and as Bingo runs away, because she doesn't want to continue eating her prey.
She's taking down her prey.
Yeah, exactly. We see Brandy's like hands reaching out, and someone else on the Discord mentioned this. It reminds them of Baby Race with Chili and Bluey reaching out, which is such a nice detail.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then Bluey asks the Chili, it's like, why can't she have the thing she wants?
It's
Because
just
it's
not
not
meant to
meant.
be.
Because it's not meant to be.
Exactly.
As Brandy's sitting there alone, like
as Bingo runs
mm-hmm.
away, and this is where I actually like. So I've watched this episode several times before, but right before the episode started, we always watch the episode we're gonna talk about right before we record the podcast
Fresh in
episode.
our brains.
Yeah,
So
have
it's
fresh in our brains. And this time, I actually did cry. Like this
Really?
is a very powerful scene. Yes, it's a very very strong scene, and I kind of felt like the emotional weight um the first time around. Like I definitely felt there was some emotional weight there, but knowing it's coming and seeing, knowing how
Yeah.
all these different things in the episode hinted up to that point, you could kind
Mm-hmm.
of feel it. And it's
It's
always
like me with
after
Sleepy
watching
Time.
it, yeah, after watching it more than one time, after the second or third time, those episodes really do hit because you see all the little details, so everything's worked masterfully together. You know what's coming, but you see everything, hang at it, everything just
You know what's
working
coming, but you're just
together.
not.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's coming, but you're just not ready. Like you think you are, but you never are.
Oh yeah, it's a very heavy episode.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the best scenes, and then the music comes back in.
Mm-hmm.
We cut to the clouds, which I think is also a really nice detail because
Mm-hmm.
uh I think there's this thing. I'm just getting this from Up. The first 15 minutes, critically acclaimed to be the greatest thing in animation history. I would disagree, but it is very, very good. They are looking up at the clouds and they're imagining babies, and I think that's a
Ooh,
reference to maybe
that might be
that.
it. Might be a little bit of reference to that. I see what you mean.
I
Yeah.
think it might be, or just might be the fact that it's just a calm day, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking too deep about it. Uh, and then something interesting that someone also mentioned on the Reddit. Chili never actually tells Bluey that she can't have children. There's never any Bluey realizing what she means.
She will probably tell Bluey about when she's old enough to understand. It's a heavy topic for her to understand, at her age.
I don't know if it's a heavy topic at her age, to be honest. It's just
It's hard to understand at the age of 7 though. Think about you the age of 7. It's a little bit difficult to
I
understand.
don't
And she'll
I
probably
don't
go into more detail as she gets older.
Yeah, she
But
will.
right now, Chili's just she's explaining it just
It's like,
simply.
shut up about your onesie. This person can't have children.
Yeah, okay. Well, not exactly like that, but yeah, kind of.
But I think that's kind of like what.
Yeah.
Not obviously not that harsh, but I think that's kind of like what Chili's
trying
to imply. It's like
put. She's trying to make an analogy here,
mm-hmm.
Something that would be easier for them to understand.
Yeah. And then, to me, I think the episode kind of wears out a bit after this part because right after this phenomenal scene, we just have Bluey and Chili going up to Brandy, right? Bingo's hiding behind the tree.
Mm-hmm.
This is also a great just shot of Brandy just lying in the grass.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great emoji for a Discord server. I'm pretty sure someone's done that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. And they go up to them, and Brandy's trying to warn them. It's like, it's a trap, get away. And I guess they're just not the most naive people on this world because they're like, are you swatting a fly? And she says, run, it's a trap. And then Bingo comes out of nowhere. I don't exactly remember, but I'm pretty sure she goes after Bluey and they run around for a bit, and Chili sits beside Brandy as they're laughing, and then they have another talk. I think this part might be more emotional for me than the actual scene, just because they're kind of talking about it like real people. It's like, we
Reconciling
just
to each
need to make
other.
sure
Yeah.
you're okay. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, it's like, yeah, thanks. Are you okay? I will be. And then Brandy's apologizing for not seeing them forever, but it's like, I've heard about this from Joe Brum. The thing that he gets kids like and parents to watch the show, while there's this deep talk going on that's super boring, you see Bluey and Bingo running around the
Yeah,
playset
I did
over and
notice
over
that.
again. Yeah. And that's to get the kids' attention because they don't care about what's happening here, but the parents are just sobbing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, Brandy's like, we have to save Bluey. It was like, how we do the dance, the one we did as kids. And so they do the dance, but before that, we have this great scene where Bingo is insane and is
Bingo's always
chasing
insane.
Bluey on a bike. And then there's this really nice thing that not many people have noticed. And I'm crazy for noticing it, but I did because I'm crazy. She runs the bike into the mailbox, and it kind of breaks. It doesn't break, but it kind of
It kind of like
tilts.
bends over. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It kind of goes out of the ground a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And we see in Trades that what's his name? Big Belt. I don't know his actual name. Big Belt.
Is it Chippy? No, it's not Chippy.
No, it's something else. Big Belt fixes it just before going back to work, and I just love that detail because this isn't even right after. Trades is not right after Onesies, I don't think. Actually, is it?
Trades is right after Onesies. Yes.
Oh,
That's what we're gonna be
okay.
doing next. Yeah. And it's
Oh,
actually
I love
Sparky.
Trades.
Yeah, it's a fun episode.
Just Sparky. That's it. But I just love this detail. I also love how not committed and committed Bandit is to this whole ordeal. He's just chilling there on his phone.
Yeah.
He's
It's like an opportunity to just play dead and not to worry about the kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like,
He knows what
Dad,
he's
help
doing.
me! I can't. I've been eating. Rules are rules. And then he tells Bluey to be one with her onesie. And again, a part that I'm not a big fan of because I just don't like this. It really deteriorates this episode just for me. I can completely see why everyone else loves it to bits. 100% deserved, but it's
if you're
just
talking
this
about
part.
a scene that I think you're talking about,
It's just them pretending to be animals.
Oh, okay.
It's just them pretending to be animals. I'm fine with that. It's fun. Whatever. I'm just not a big fan of it.
But you know the scene that I love every time I watch it? It's when Chili and Brandy do the little dance and the music. Oh my goodness, I love this music to bits. It is like, it's in my top 3. Like, this has got to be one of my favorite, I guess, like, episode themes? I guess it'd be like an episode theme, or episode soundtrack. I guess I don't know.
Episode soundtrack.
Oh my goodness, it's just, it's so good. It's
also very unique to any other episode.
It's very peppy. It's very happy, and the episode ends off on Chili and Brandy being reconciled to each other, and they're not like it feels
enemies.
Like all the hard feelings have been let go.
You see
Chili
Bandit just bopping his head as they pan out.
I didn't notice that actually.
Behind the car, he's just bopping.
See, you notice these things.
I know, because I'm insane.
You are insane.
Thank you.
This is why we have you on the podcast, because you notice all these things and we don't.
And then we cut to the credits, and the episode's done. And this is where I have grapes. So,
all right.
Obviously, it's Bluey we're talking about. There's no such thing as a bad episode. This is not a bad episode. This is an amazing episode.
It is
But
incredible. What are your gripes?
I just feel the pacing in this one is too fast. We gloss over the really emotional thing way too quickly. I'm not even sure if we're on it for a minute. It might be like 30 seconds, and then we're back to fun and games. Then we're back to a bit of emotional stuff, and then the end's already here. It feels like this episode's only 5 minutes when it's actually the same amount of minutes every other episode is.
The pacing of this episode actually does kind of make sense to me because, I mean, Brandy's just having these little moments where she's left to herself, left to her thoughts, and realizing I'll never have this. And that's
Yeah.
it's just these short moments, like kind of like when you're by yourself, left to your thoughts. You have like just those moments, like you think about things. But then like, when you're in the thick of it and like stuff is busy and you got too much to do to be worried about something. Like a 6-hour long waiting shift. We got other things to worry about at the moment. Everything's going a million miles per minute. You just can't worry about that stuff. And so
I guess that makes sense. I do wish they ended it better. Maybe with like
the ending
Brandy.
was amazing. It's like one of my favorite episode endings. It's just like
I don't like it.
It's so cute. It's so wholesome. The music is great.
It's cute, but I think
don't know what you mean here, brother. I don't know what you mean.
I wish they had maybe a scene where Brandy was playing more with the kids themselves, because she obviously enjoys spending time with them.
Oh, I'm sure she stayed for a little bit more. And I mean, she definitely did spend that time there because, I mean, they didn't just leave like, oh, yeah, we did our cute little dance. It's time to pack up and go. Bye, Brandy. Also, I've seen you 4 years, but
yeah.
Let's make it 5.
Yeah. I forgot the part at the beginning where Brandy says, Bluey, you look just like your father. Oh, what?
Oh, yeah.
And then Bingo says, like, who do I look like? You look just like... And, Chili says, you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that hit.
Is really cute.
That line did hit so hard, actually.
Also, how old do you think Brandy is?
Brandy, I feel, might be maybe a couple years younger or even a couple years older.
I think she's quite a couple years younger because the older characters obviously have the traditional like lines in their hair to show that they're older. Brandy doesn't have any of those.
Brandy
so I think she's like maybe 30.
I don't think she's a lot younger. She's definitely younger.
Well, how old do you think Bandit and Chili are?
It's definitely Chili and Chili and I was about to say Bandit. Chili and Brandy have definitely grown up together because there's a connection there. It's a weak connection, weakened by some family struggles and some there's been Chili's family is there's a whole lot of stuff that maybe Chili's mother dying could be a part of the reason why Chili and Brandy were kind of at odds for a while.
Is it just me, or does Dragon really remind you of Onesies?
Well, I mean, it's more Chili lore, basically. It's
yes,
Chili lore.
But it just the same thing with pacing in that episode is very fast. But we're not going to talk about that, and we're not going to talk about that for a long time.
Yeah, because that was not on Disney Plus yet, is it?
Nope. And it won't be until like 2027 or something.
No, I thought you were that far away, but
yeah,
it'll probably be next year. Probably start next year.
2030.
Well, that's a little bit far away, but it's definitely after Starfield. Where were we?
That's all my notes. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about this episode.
I feel like I did.
This is the thing.
On something.
This is the thing. This is the thing about this episode. Everyone talks about the infertility part, and that's amazing. It's the reason why this episode is so highly rated.
I think everything else people can relate to this episode, really.
But everything else, I just don't think is as worthy as people say it is. Because you compare really emotional scenes like Granddad, the ending gets me every time I sob.
Ooh, Granddad. Oh,
But
goodness.
I'm not just thinking about the ending. I'm thinking about the whole
The
episode.
whole
I
episode
think
is
that
fire. Oh my goodness.
it might be one of my favorite episodes.
It's a good one.
It's so good. I'm thinking it might be better than Camping.
I would disagree with you on that one, but that's completely fair. I love Camping a whole lot because through the entire episode, it builds up. Like the pacing for Camping is really good because at the start, you see this this friendship being built, and then it kind of like at the end of it, like about 2/3 of the way through, you see this beautiful scene where like they're all under the stars, and then we get to that tree scene, and then they finally meet again.
Stop! You're gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry.
It's heavy. It's such a heavy scene. Oh, you think you're gonna cry? Oh man, that episode has made me cry a number of times. But it's something I have to watch the episode to feel the emotional weight of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or listen to the song on the Bluey album.
Pacing differs in a lot of episodes.
Pacing is everything to me. If your pacing in a movie or show is not good, I'm probably not gonna like it.
I agree, but I actually felt the pacing for Onesies was actually right.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. But again, it's just I don't think this episode is as good as everyone. I'm not saying it's not.
I don't think it's it's not as hyped as a lot of episodes are. You obviously, I didn't hear about Onesies for a while. What I heard of was Sleepy Time. I heard of Flat Pack. I heard of Camping. I heard of all those other episodes, and I really didn't hear about Onesies. So, like, I remember when we were doing the tier list, I haven't even heard of that episode.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I'm looking at IMDb right now. The top 10 episodes, Onesies is 7th. Flat Pack is 11th. It's not even top 10. That's a crime.
And Barky Boats is 104. IMDb has proven to be a terrible. It's not
bad. Bad.
But I honestly think number 7 actually fits for Onesies because it's a good episode.
I'm not gonna deny.
It's at least top 10. Come on, you gotta be.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But there's so many good episodes.
There's so many good episodes that aren't top 10.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
this is a whole other episode. Oh my gosh.
Hey, let's keep going. Because I think it's a crime that Barky Boats is 114 or something like that.
It's actually 106 now.
106. Okay. So it used to be 104, now it's 106. No, I'm pretty sure when last check is 104. It's gone down to 106.
It's below favorite things. Why?
Barky Boats? Okay, when we get to Barky Boats, I'm going to have a lot to say there. But this episode...
It's going to be a 17-hour-long episode.
I will make it a 17-hour-long episode. Yeah. Oh my goodness. This episode... Barky Boats is just... Ooh, it makes you feel things,
But that's for another time.
Yeah, that's for another time. But yeah, that's really all I had to say. I think
that's
Long Dog was just before the girls open the door and meet Brandy. It's underneath a table holding keys, I guess. That's why I'm looking at the wiki. That's why I see look at the wiki.
I was looking for the Long Dog in this episode.
And apparently it's decorated as if it has a cheetah onesie, which is really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm gonna have to go take another look at that. But that's it's Long Dogs are always cool. They're always fun
also probably this is just a really picky thing, but you know how every title card has an image of something from the episode. This one might be the worst one. I don't know why. I just don't like it. It doesn't look good. Like, I'm not a fan of the onesie packaging.
Maybe if they had like the onesies in them, it'd fit
wow,
better.
I'm literally looking for anything to criticize.
I mean, there's not much criticize when it comes to Bluey. Like, it really is perfection. Like, most of the details, they work on the details, really. I think that's why it appeals to a lot of people. It's just, it goes to the details, and it refines them, and it's really hard to find, even in the episodes that you're not, like, crazy about, that aren't, like, widely spoken about, there's still good episodes. They're still fun to watch, and it's still worth watching.
Absolutely.
So, kind of hard to find fault in any of the episodes.
Absolutely. Well, that's all for me.
All for me as well.
As always, I'm Owen.
And I'm Aiden.
And this has been the Around the Creek podcast.
Bye.
Bye.